The Plein Air Easton Podcast is brought to you by the Avalon Foundation, enriching the lives of those on the eastern shore of Maryland through the arts. Visit avalonfoundation.org for details on events, performances, and educational programming offered throughout the year. Today's episode is sponsored by JFM Enterprises, providing distinctive ready-made and custom frames and moldings to the trade since 1974. Visit jfm.net to view their catalog of designs.
Marie, you need to join us some more because,
I know, I have zero. Like, I'm going to have to look up those, some YouTube things on how to draw you know what I mean? Like, I don't have the proportions. I have nothing.
Is there a YouTube video on how to open up a French easel?
There probably is. Lord knows.
I can't get the easel open. And I definitely can't close
open up a French easel, okay?
Somebody gave me a French easel. And I know, it's crazy. They think they're nuts.
Just put it in the back of your closet.
All right, hi, everyone. Welcome back to Plein Air Easton Podcast. I'm Tim Wigan with Marie Nuthall, and we're on these meetings all the time now. We can't be in the studio with the regular audio that Nick does so well down there at MCTV, but we can do this out of our homes now, which is good, really, kind of. It's going to have to be that way for a little while. So, Marie, who are we talking with? We're going to talk with Beth Bathe today.
Yes. So Beth is an award-winning plein air artist, and she's been juried into Plein Air Easton 3 times. And last year she participated in our competition as an alumni artist. She sat on the panel for our coffee and conversation panel discussion. And while she was here, she also recorded a pay-per-view demo, which can be found on our website at pleinaireaston.com. So we spent a good bit of time today talking to Beth about how she is reinventing her new normal during this.
Yeah, doing some new things like everybody's trying to figure it out. Well, everybody, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in, and let's talk about Beth Bathe. Today, we want to introduce, welcome Beth Bathe, an artist from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, who has appeared in Plein Air Easton several times, and I think is an award winner on several occasions as well. And I know she's a big seller there. So Beth, welcome to the Plein Air Podcast.
Yes, thank you. Good to see your faces, you guys.
Yeah, it's good to see everybody's faces for sure. Marie, you have a follow-up to that?
Okay. Yeah,
Are
totally.
you gonna say hi to Beth?
Totally, yes. Hi, Beth. I'm so excited to restart the podcast interviewing and to have you on as the first one after the break. So I know that you have been up to an exciting project that I have actually taken part in, and that's why I want to talk about.
Yay, I'm so excited about it.
I want to talk about the short dogs.
The short dogs.
Well, yeah, barely, Beth, you've got a positive message or a positive activity or positive something going on.
Yes.
You figured out through the pandemic.
Yeah. When I'm not, traveling like a crazy person doing plein air, which is usually like 13 to 15 weeks out of the year. 2020 is now, I'm traveling from my second floor to my first floor. So
That's good.
But anyway, when I'm not traveling for plein air, I was hosting a live model session at my studio, usually every other Friday, where we would hire a model, and the model would either be dressed in a theme or be a nude model. But I'd have artists come to the studio and we'd all paint together. Because before I started doing plein air, figurative work was really kind of my thing. So anyway, fast forward to, I think our last one was March 6th we had in the studio. And then pandemic hits and, all my studio's closed and, the artists haven't been coming and we've really missed it. So the great thing about my studio is I share the space with my partner, Bill, and he's a professional photographer. And he's got years and years of photo shoots that he has taken with professional models, classical portraiture, classical like thematic setups like pre-Raphaelite shoots, Greek goddesses, pinup, Hollywood glamour, all sorts of just years of that stuff. So we put our heads together and thought, we could do this online. And so we started what we call VTGIF. So it's virtual. Thank God it's Fridays. And so I've really learned Facebook, man, and let me tell you, for as bad rap as Facebook gets, it could be a social media godsend for people. It really is a connecting tool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So anyway, on Thursday evenings, I create an event and I post it by 9:00, and we post anywhere from 6 to 15 photos of the same model in different poses. And then artists paint or draw or whatever they want to do all day Friday, and usually goes all week long. And, we post and we comment on each other's work. And, it's really something, it was meant just for the people that had regularly come. And now we have over 100 participants from all over the country and Canada. And more each week. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I got wind of it because a lot of my artist friends that I have met through just coordinating the festival itself, they started posting their artworks. And so then I just followed the trail back to you, but it was so exciting to see everybody's versions and interpretations of the models and the various poses. And
it's amazing. It's so fun. It blows me away. And, I have, plein air artists join in who haven't painted a figure in 20 years. I have artists that I look up to joining, and it's like, this is so cool.
It really is.
Really cool.
What's the difference between painting a figure and painting a plein air piece? So, like, say, I mean, that's probably a dumb question, but like, what's the difference?
The thing about painting a figure, for me, is, first of all, it really hones your drawing skills. When you talk about like painting a landscape and you need to know perspective and drawing and all that kind of stuff, sometimes you could kind of fudge it a little bit, like you're drawing a tree, someone doesn't know that branch isn't there or whatever. But a figure, man, I mean, the eyes have got to be in the right place, and you've got perspective, you've got issues with foreshortening if the model's laying down. And then if it's a live model, I mean, they're moving. So you're constantly trying to figure out, how to capture that person. I think if any landscape painter also does figurative work, it just helps tremendously in their landscapes, because it just is a fantastic drawing exercises.
Gotcha. And so this has worked out really well then. You've got, how long have you been doing this, Beth? What's it called again? It's
my studio, it's called Short Dog Studio. So anybody could go to Facebook, and if they plug in Short Dog, not plural, just Short Dog Studio, it'll take you to the page, and you go to events and you'll see all the past events. Tomorrow will be our 7th one, because we started right when the pandemic hit. And artists can access the links to, we set up a gallery of photos. They could go back to the past weeks and do it, or join us tomorrow. And anybody can, sign up. And it's free. We have been asking for some, if you have a little bit of money to throw our way for donations. But that's not the main reason I'm doing it. It's more just to create community for everybody.
And it does that. It really does that. Beth, can I ask you, so can we talk about the launch of your plein air career and when you started painting? And you had said, one of the things I'm really curious about is you had said that you picked up an easel, dusted it off, and that was a gift to you.
Yes.
And painted your first painting, and it was a pear. Do you still have it?
I do. And I look at it every now and then. It was just, I mean, I went, way back when, I went to art school. I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts, but I have it in graphic design. And so I was a graphic designer for 35 years. Knew I could draw, but didn't really do it, raised kids, all that kind of stuff. And then my partner, Bill, got in, I think it was 2008, got me an easel for Christmas saying, I think you should paint. And it stayed in the basement for 2 years. And then I decided, what the heck, I'm going to take a class. So I took a class and I painted a pear. And that was it, man. I was like, this is so cool. And so I started painting. I lived in Northern Virginia. So this was the Art League of Alexandria in Virginia. And so I started with the figure and did that for a couple of years. And I apprenticed with one of the artists there. And so I was really into figurative painting. Then we moved to Lancaster. We retired up here. And to meet some friends, I joined the Susquehanna Valley Plein Air Painters group. I had no idea what plein air painting was. I thought it was just painting outside. And
you're just like, sign me up. That's what I'm.
And
I'm here to meet people.
I think the first time I went, I met artist Julie Riper, and she actually has been in Plein Air Easton before.
Yes.
And told me all about it, and he told me about the competitions, and so that, at the end of that year, I started applying, and I applied to Plein Air Easton, and I got in. So that was 2014. So that was my first. Year doing plein air events.
That's great. That's great.
It's amazing.
And you still love the figures, which is what that sort of.
I do, and that's why we have the studio, because Bill does all this photography there, and we teach there and we host other artists to come and teach there. But I just love the figure, and I love doing it with other people. The camaraderie of us all being together and painting from the same figure. We're supportive of each other. It's just really, really fun. And the live sessions are pretty cool too. We have people travel as much as 2 hours to come from Delaware. Elise Phillips is one of our regulars. We miss each other.
I bet.
Yeah, I bet. My question is, what is it like for you working in this environment? I know, for me, on my side, and this is a regular not regular 9 to 5 job, but it's certainly not an artist out there making my own living. But a lot of times it's hard to get excited for work stuff when you don't see an end in sight. When for our industry, we're we can't have large gatherings. They're the last to come back, and we are
right.
just based around large gatherings. So it's hard to get excited about a project that may not happen until a year from now.
It is, yeah.
How do you, as an artist, you can paint every day. Are you motivated to paint now? Are you not motivated to paint? Does it show up in your paintings?
It's interesting, because this time of year right now, I would be gearing up for major plein air. Ordering frames, prepping canvases. I've already missed 4 plein air competitions are canceled. I was supposed to be teaching a fantastic workshop down in Warm Springs, Virginia, starting tomorrow, that coincided with a fly fishing festival. We had rented
wow.
We had fly fishermen's in the water, and so that's canceled. I had a major solo show that opened the end of February. It was supposed to go all the way through March, 60 paintings. It was open for a week and closed. And all 60 of those paintings are still hanging in a gallery, in an empty, closed gallery. It's a little scary.
Sure.
I finished my taxes. Last year I sold 59 paintings through plein air competitions. 59.
Right.
And I'm thinking, oh my God, this year could be 0 plein air competitions. So
there's definitely the financial side to it. I was curious, are you motivated to paint right now? You got your Friday thing going on, so obviously some people are using that to make themselves paint, I imagine, or looking for a diversion like that. It's
a great diversion. And I think being a plein air competition artist, I think one reason why I like it so much is the pressure and it like forces me, Beth, you got to paint 3 paintings today, and so I wake up every morning, it's like Groundhog Day. It's like, well, I don't have to do anything today, really. But this Friday thing is really, it keeps me busy all week because people are constantly posting, and I create albums and whatever. And then, we did a little plein air competition in your backyard painting thing for a group, and I sold that painting. There's little things going on here and there. You just gotta, other people are doing virtual plein air events. Olmsted, I think, is doing one. So I try to paint. I try to, I clean up my little studio area here, every night, get it ready to paint the next day. So when I come in, it's a nice, kind of calm place. And my partner, Bill, God bless him, he's wonderful. He's retired. And he's taken over all the cooking. He said, Beth, you go and paint. And so we've tried to get into kind of a routine. But it's weird. It's just really.
Are your paintings any different? The whole psyche of the world is changed.
Yes, yes. I think I've been painting these figurative paintings, and I've just thought, well, most of them are just for myself anyway, so I'm trying different things, different palettes, painting bigger, painting smaller. Normally, if you guys remember, my paintings aren't very colorful, kind of limited palette. Well, I've dug out all the colors and trying different stuff. So it's been a growth. It's a good time of growth, and actually, as when you speak to any artist. We almost hate to say this, we don't really mind being quarantined. We're kind of solo creatures. If you have unlimited time in your studio, that's like heaven.
Right.
So we're kind of a little odd in that way.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Marie?
Yeah, I was going to ask, going back to, you picking up your paintbrushes for the first time and deciding that you were going to make a career of being a plein air artist, now that you're about 10 years in, would you say?
Right.
Is that about right? So you're about 10 years in. Do you, have you reached a level of artistic confidence that, this is edgy right now, you're incorporating color where, a lot of times you really limit the color in your paintings. So, I guess this is kind of forcing you to explore the edges of that, where, would you say that you kind of get confident in your style of painting and you're like, I'm comfortable here?
Yeah. And I think that's true with any artist. A lot of times I find when I might be in a plein air event, I sort of have to paint to my style because that's what collectors
people expect.
Yeah.
But I think too, Beth, because people look for that from you, your style of painting, and
Yes.
they expect that from you, that when you all of a sudden paint a giant magnolia flower or a clementine still life or something, it gets people all excited. They're like, oh my gosh, that's Beth.
Well, that's true. It's been very, I've been getting a lot of encouragement, like, oh my God, she painted with orange. I didn't even know she had orange. So, or the figurative stuff, people they're like, because I've been really with these every Friday, really been going back to my roots and doing some pretty nice figurative work. And they're like, wow, I didn't know that you could do that. So, yeah, it's nice.
Beth, what does it take to be a good drawer, painter?
Oh, it's, this question gets asked a lot. And I think, to me, a good painting is design and drawing. There's so many artists starting out, they just want to jump into the painting because it's, I want to paint with the color and I want to do this. And then they're so disappointed because the house that they draw is wonky, the drawing's not right. And so, I try to be really honest with people and say, you need to, ratchet back and take some drawing lessons, and you need to practice. I mean, as a graphic designer for years, I did a lot of technical drawing, a lot of architectural drawing, and you just really need those skills. A lot of time what artists will say is you need to build on your toolbox. You need to build your skills so that you have all these tools in your box. So then when you do go out and plein air paint, I mean, I start painting right away. I don't sketch or whatever because I know how to draw. I know how perspective works.
Do abstract artists need to know how to draw? I mean, if they want to paint something else, obviously, but if they,
I think it could be two ways. I think some of the best abstract artists in history, if you look back at like Picasso or something, if you look at his early works, it was very traditional, and he knew how to draw figures, and so then you're able to kind of like deconstruct it, like the deconstructed salads now. I mean, you could take apart the parts, but they might kind of fit differently, but I think you kind of need to know those parts.
Right.
Yeah.
Marie?
Yeah, so that kind of is like a partial answer. I was going to ask about encouragement for other people that may be in the same place that you were, that have some paintbrushes sitting around, especially now, I've got a little time on their hands. Like what's a good idea? Where do you start?
Well, I mean, it is a perfect time to do it with the online stuff. I mean,
Exactly.
You guys have a instructional video through Plein Air Easton of me painting a whole demo. Very affordable. You could go on YouTube and get things free all day long. So I encourage anybody to try, watch, see what resonates with you. What artists do you like? What styles do you like? 9 times out of 10, somebody will have a video or a DVD available. Watch them, but then what you need to do is you need to practice. You just need to, no one knows how to play guitar right off the bat, so you need to practice. You need to do your chords, and sometimes it's not all fun. But we have a lot of time right now. We're all
Nobody says no to these interviews. I haven't had one person say no yet, or I'm too busy. Everybody has time.
I know. Marie got in touch with me. Marie got in touch with me like 5 o'clock last night.
Exactly.
And I'm like, what about tomorrow? And I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, what the
Somebody
hell?
says they're too busy.
I know.
To do.
Well, and it's so true. I'll type these emails like, hey, would you have time for this? I'm like, that's such a stupid question that I'm asking.
Oh, I know, but
but I don't want to assume.
But, last year, if you'd gotten in touch with me, first of all, I wouldn't have even been here. I'd have been God knows where.
Right.
And, I'd have been really busy. So it's an interesting new paradigm we're in here. I'm worried for the plein air world. I think, at some point we are going to come out of this to whatever it's going to be. But I worry, with the financial strain, are collectors going to have extra money to buy paintings? Or are collectors going to want to come and look at this stuff, when there's 40, 50 people? I think it's going to have to be redefined. What's going to happen with galleries? Brick and mortars can't afford to pay the rent. It's scary, and a lot of artists, we don't have big 401ks or, kind of live from painting sale to painting sale, or workshops. Will I ever teach again? Sometimes I think that I'm glad I'm 60 years old and I'm kind of, it's kind of behind me. But I worry for the 30, 40-year-olds. Is art going to be a career that they're going to be able to have and maintain? I don't know. We'll see. And I know you guys are struggling with, what's happening with Plein Air Easton this year. I mean, we don't know. And that's the thing. There's no concrete answer. It's not like a math problem where 2 + 2 is 4. I mean, every day this changes, and we're just gonna do what we could do, I guess.
Oh my God, we've got to turn this interview around, Marie. We've got to get on a positive, happy note.
So many questions.
Woo-hoo!
Okay, so
what's good? But I understand that. No, you're dead right. I mean, it's just realistic outlook at it,
Well, I mean, I think, to turn it around, I mean, if we get back to my, virtual short dog thing, that has been just a beacon of light in my life. I mean, I work all week on it, but the comments, and I sent these to Maria, the comments from artists, it's like a game changer for them. I mean,
I've had a lot of that.
This one artist sends me a handmade card every week, snail mail, with a check in it. She pays me a small amount of money, and a beautiful handwritten note every week, and how if it wasn't for Fridays, she wouldn't even know what she was doing. I mean, she just looks so forward to it. It's Beth Bathe's and Short Dog's little piece of how we can help in the pandemic, I guess.
It's your own personal ripple effect, Beth. You know what I mean? You're like putting a drop of joy in, and it's just reverberating throughout the artist community.
I'm thrilled about it. And for me, how they always say, it's not receiving the gift, it's in the giving, and to me, this that I've been able to do this has just been fantastic. Love it.
That's great. Where did the name Short Dog come from?
Short Dog. We have 3 cardigan Welsh Corgis, little dogs, and they're kind of always hanging out at the studio. So, there are little critics. They, beg for food and bug the artists, and artists love them to death, and sometimes hang out with the models. So that's where Short Dog Studio came from.
Gotcha.
What is new for you since being quarantined? What is new for you that you might continue, whether it's painting or a new habit or just a change in your daily life that has actually benefited you and you will continue after?
Before quarantine, I didn't paint in my home studio here very often. My big studio, Short Dog Studio, which has 2,000 square feet, I have to drive 20 minutes to get there. Okay. And that's where I would, paint. A lot of times I didn't paint in the studio because I'm a plein air painter. I'm not here. So I've really try to carve out time to paint in my small studio here and in my house, and organized it. It's set up. I have no excuse but to go in there and paint. And it's nice because I could just pick different times of the day. Get up early. Doesn't matter. So I'm really trying to establish more time as a studio painter and see what that's like. I need to now go out and do some plein air painting. Although I've heard some horror stories from plein air painters, like who've been told by the police, like you can't be out here, which seems crazy if you're in the middle of a field somewhere.
Yeah, that seems kind of absurd.
I know, but it's I don't know. We'll all just have to figure that out. So anyway, I just think finding. I also find that my life has been able to slow down a little bit. Because I'm not constantly like packing the car, unpacking the car, ordering frames, so I've really been able to think about my art a little bit more. And I think that goes back to what we talked about before, maybe trying some new things and pulling out some different colors, and maybe even pull out the pastels,
You're really getting crazy now.
Oh my God. No, girl, no. So, but it's been great. And Marie, you need to join us some more because,
I know I have zero. Like, I'm going to have to look up those, some YouTube things on how to draw you know what I mean? Like, I don't have the proportions. I have nothing.
Is there a YouTube video on how to open up a French easel?
There probably is. Lord knows.
I can't get the easel open. And I definitely can't close
open up a French easel, okay?
Somebody gave me a French easel. And
honey.
I know, it's crazy. These things are nuts.
Just put it in the back of your closet. There's plenty of other good easels out there. No way.
There you go. Well, that's great, Beth. And again, we appreciate you spending some time with us here today.
It was my pleasure.
It's a crazy time, and it's always interesting to hear everybody's perspective on what they're doing and how they're making it through, and what they think is going to happen to their particular field, career, that sort of thing. So, we really appreciate the time. Marie, you got anything?
Just keep on doing the good stuff, Beth. I love the short dog idea, and I think you're just spreading so much love out there in the artist world. So
yeah, that's VTGIF. Can you talk about that one more time, Beth?
It's Short Dog Studio on Facebook, and it's a creative event every Friday, and it's V as in virtual, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. And artists paint, and we post, and then at the end of the week I will create a big photo album of all the paintings that I've done for that week, and anybody could look at them, and they're fantastic. I mean, artists are doing some great work.
That's awesome.
They really are. And Beth, if it's of course it's free for anybody to join in, but how can they make a donation to you if they feel moved to do that?
When they open the event, I have a little sentence in there that they could pay it to me via PayPal at Beth Bathe or Venmo, or they could send a check or whatever. But what we're really trying to do is cover costs. We don't want to have to give up our Short Dog physical studio. Still paying rent on that, and nobody can go. So it's just to try to cover some expenses.
Awesome.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you so much.
Oh, and I hope that Easton happens, and I hope to see you at the quick draw and all that.
Oh, it's so good to see you, even though this is a podcast thing.
Yes, guys. Love you guys.
Love you too, Beth.
Thanks, Beth.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The Plein Air Easton Podcast is brought to you by the Avalon Foundation and was produced by Nick Richards. Our theme music was generously provided by Blue Dot Sessions, with additional episode music by Poddington Bear. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. You can learn more about Plein Air Easton at pleinaireaston.com.